Hi, Steve Gamache here with the Chef Knives to Go quick look product video, and this time we are looking at the Kajiwara Blue No. 2 Damascus Gyuto to 10mm. Had an error on my sheet and I scratched it out and put another error in my sheet, so there's 210 is what we're looking at. The core steel on this knife is Aogami or Blue Paper No. 2 reactive carbon steel. The heat treat's about 62 Rockwell on this knife. The construction is a layered Damascus style cladding of soft iron over the top of that core steel. So this is an all reactive blade. There's no stainless on it. You can see the core steel showing through pretty well on either side there. So this is a sandwich of soft iron layered cladding over the top of that harder core steel. The weight of the knife is 191 grams, 6.7 ounces. It has some heft to it. The blade length is about 215 on this sample from tip to heel. All these dimensions and weights can vary a little bit from knife to knife. The overall length is about 14.4 inches. And the spine thickness right above the chin of the knife back at the heel there is the 3.8 millimeter, and then it holds a fair amount of that, thins down a little bit as you get towards the tip of the knife, and then pretty much doesn't have a lot of distal taper. It thins out a little bit, but then when you hit the grind of the knife about right here, it thins out towards the tip. So not a particularly thin knife. This knife does have some heft to it. The blade height is 50 millimeter here, back at the chin to the spine. And the handle, I wish more makers use these handles. These are great handles. They are oval, ambidextrous, real super nice fit and finish on them, just glass smooth all the way through. Especially the ferrule junction here. They are oval and, as I said, rosewood with ebony ferrule. And the circumference on the handle is just about 3 inches right here, and that makes for a kind of an average size handle for this style of knife. The fit and finish on the blade is quite good overall. You've got some relief on the choil and imoto or neck area, and also a little bit on the spine, although it could probably be relieved just a little bit more if you wanted to, but it's a very well crafted blade. We'll look at it a little closer, but you can kind of see the curvature of the grind on this blade does kind of gradually come down on the grind of the knife, where you can see the layers showing right here, and then it curves quite a bit into the edge. So this holds a lot of thickness till you get right to the edge, and it curves in, contours into the edge. It's not a big defined flat shinogi line like on a lot of knives. So balance point on the knife, it's a bit heavier blade, but the heavier handle balances that out. So the balance point's pretty darn close to a pinch grip for me. And as I said, the knife does have some mass to it, but it balances pretty well right there. As I said, beautiful handle on these. I wish they would put these on more knives. Let's take a look at... Oh, sorry. Let's switch it back here. Sorry. There we go. Let's take a look at the close-ups of the blade and the finish. So there are your layers showing, and there's the chiseled kanji on the knife and the edge steel showing up. So kind of a muted, kind of a frosted effect, very smooth blade. You don't really feel the layers, but it's a really nice effect. The profile on this knife looks like this. This one does have a slight kind of bump right here and then kind of right there, so it's not a total glass smooth on the cutting board. That could easily be tweaked just a little bit though. There's your profile of the choil, and again, this is not a particularly thin blade. It does have some mass to it, so if you like some mass for chopping power, this might be an interesting choice for you. It's a very nice looking blade. Whoop. There we go. That should be better. In focus. So here's what it looks like on the cutting board. You've got a little bit of a back belly towards the heel, and there's a bit of a flat spot right there. It kind of flows into that. There's a slight bump from here to here. Right about there's a slight bump in this profile, so that could be tweaked just a touch without too much trouble, and smooth that out and get a longer flat spot in this blade if you wanted to. And again, every blade's going to be different. You can get 10 of these and they'll all be slightly different. I can get pretty high on the tip before I start digging in, so this knife, it does rock well. And like I said, you could tweak. Some of the other ones I've seen of these have a little bit longer flat spots, so again, these will vary a little bit from knife to knife, but that's what your profile looks like. Not a huge amount of belly towards the tip. Overall, it's a fairly flat profile. With a little tweak, like I said, right there, you could get a pretty long flat spot on this if you wanted to. Let's see, again, fit and finish is quite good on this. It's just a nice feeling knife with some mass to it, and very attractive knife. It is all reactive, so keep that in mind. But a really cool knife. There's a great handle on him. So this is the Kajiwara Blue No. 2 Damascus Gyuto 210mm knife.